This episode is proudly brought to you by the members of the You Run Podcast Network. All shows can be found at yourunpodcast.com. So go and find your new podcast addiction today.
You want to die tonight?
The dad jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts for a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled.
Right, that goes on for a bit. Hello and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review, the show where you pick the movies and we review them. My name is Scott.
My name is Marc.
And we are now nearly halfway into our ultimate Halloween month. And after last week, I am praying, begging to not have a movie that I have to complain about. Because for the last 2 weeks, I've done nothing but bitch and moan and dish out low scores. And even last week, I dragged Marc down to my level and he bitched and dished out low scores as well.
Yeah, it was a very whiny episode, wasn't it?
It was. And like when we're recording this, that hasn't come out yet, but I imagine there's going to be so much. You two are just miserable as fuck. Like, just enjoy life.
I know. The thing is, though, man, it's super fucking Halloween October month, man, and we haven't got a single Halloween movie on our schedule. I am genuinely pissed off by this month.
What, you mean a single Michael Myers style movie?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. Maybe we could.
No, you're not. But...
yeah, well, I tell you what, we'll talk about Halloween movies on the Patreon episode. Will that make you feel better?
Yes, that's what we should do for our October month.
Yeah, let's do that for October Patreon. We'll talk all about Halloween and Halloween movies and our favourite Halloween movies. How about that?
Only if you come into it like wanting to do it. If you're just going to be there just to annoy me for like
no. I don't mean just Halloween movies. I mean Halloween movies in general. And then you
no. I'm saying we'll do Michael Myers movies and we'll just flesh it out. We'll just confess our love for the franchise. We'll proper bro it out about how amazing it is.
Yeah, but the thing is, my love goes 1, 2, 3, and then my love ends until 2009, and then I have a bit of love in 2009, and then it ends again until Gordon Green, and then it fluctuates throughout the Gordon Green disaster.
Yeah, well, we can carve all out, man. We can light some pumpkins and get a pumpkin spice latte, and we'll just thrash it, man. We'll thrash the Halloween franchise out for an hour or so.
We'll talk about it off air. Maybe we will.
I don't feel like you're as keen as I am to do this.
I'm not. Maybe we will. Call in if you want that. Maybe we'll do it. If you are new to the show, we give you a brief overview of the movie we're reviewing. Then we dive into the highs and the lows, the things we liked, the things we didn't like, and we are very spoiler heavy. We will reveal the plot and the ending and everything else in between. Later in the show, we've got some interactive features with Caption This. We're also going to get some production facts and we're going to get some comments from our Spotify and YouTube because, yeah, we have no voicemails this week. No one loves us.
Oh, that's all right. It's usually hatred-filled messages anyway, mate. So
it is
nice to have a week off.
I kind of like the hatred-filled episode. Today's episode, we open a brand new door to a brand new franchise that we've not touched before, and this has been requested by 2 people. So this was requested by Jay from Lumberjay Reviews and by Becky of This Girl Loves Horror, who combined are the Girl and the Gay podcast, which makes me wonder if they colluded to make this happen.
I don't care if they did, man. I don't hate them for it. This is a movie this was like one of those ones. This is my era of horror for me. Like, you know, when I first started introducing it, it's Wrong Turn, Hills of Eyes remake. This was sort of where I was first at that age in my life where horror movies were coming out and you would watch them as a group of friends.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I know we'd go back and we'd do like the Candyman stuff and the I Know What You Did Last Summer stuff. And I say going back because that must break your heart a little bit to hear me say that. But for me, this was like, this came out, you know, this came out in my teen years, and everyone was like, ooh, we're going to get round tonight, get a takeaway, we'll get some popcorn, we're going to sit down, we're going to watch this new Wrong Turn movie.
Yeah. This was not my era of film.
No.
This is this early 2000s.
You was there for when Nosferatu came out, wasn't you?
Today we look at a masterclass in cinematic subtlety and character writing that is sublime. We meet a bunch of super intelligent, resourceful teens who, after getting into a crash in the deepest, darkest, most inbred part of West Virginia, decide the best course of action is to trudge as deep as they can into the same woods that are full of hillbillies as they possibly can to seek assistance. Each bad decision made by the cast leads them deeper and deeper into trouble and proves that one tooth is, in fact, enough to eat a human. A film that proves GPS and common sense are simply not required for some movies. And in fact, sometimes it's better if they're not used. Today we look at 2003's Wrong Turn.
This is some bullshit.
Fucking love that. Why have we not used that before?
This movie is a ton of fun. Dumb as fuck. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah. It's just like the least insulting thing you could ever watch, I think. Do you know, in terms of like horror movies, and I mean, we touched upon it briefly when we record. I think it was on the end of our Scream episode when we was bitching about how the fucking pacing issues on that, and we were saying next week we won't be having that conversation. We won't, because this is just the least insulting slasher movie you could ever watch. It knows exactly what it's doing. It comes in and it gets out, and there's no issues to complain about throughout. I mean, I'm sure obviously we'll pull apart a few bits and bobs as we go, but like anybody who sits there and fully character assassinates the Wrong Turn movie is mental, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I had so much fun with this. Like, I'll be honest, the opening of this made me go, oh no, because I was expecting absolute garbage. So that bit where you've got the young couple climbing the cliff and he gets to the top and he's like, come on, Chrissy, you can do it. And then he gets whacked and dragged off screen and we get an off-camera kill. I was like, oh no. And then she falls and we get another off-camera kill. I was like, no, come on. I thought this franchise was all gore and gross and you've not done fuck all. And then from there, I fully bought in. As soon as we met the guy from Dexter on his way to a job interview, I was in.
Before we go into Detective Quinn, I want to talk about this cold open and this trend of cold opens in horror movies from this time. I don't like them.
I don't mind them. I think the issue with this one is you get the cold open and you're like, shit, what's dragged them into the woods? Is it a monster? What could it be? And then they give you the longest credit sequence in the world where they're going, here's a deformed person. Deformed people are causing crimes. Do you know that if you fuck your sister, you become deformed and then you kill people? It's like, is that
news articles as well? Like news articles flashing up. Halloween H2O does it as well, where it's like scanning across that fucking detective walls and it's got fake drawings and Myers and shit. Again, it's just this weird 2000s trends, and they're littered throughout in this one. And I don't know if this was the one that started them. I can't imagine it did, because it weren't as impactful as it should have been at the time. To think, I know, we'll replicate that Wrong Turn movie. But they're all very much victims to it throughout this time period. But I don't know what it is, man. I don't like the isolated cold opens in movies. I didn't mind this one too much. Like, it didn't insult me the way that quite a few of them do when I see them, where it's like, it happens more in like creature features, I tend to find as well.
Yeah.
Creature features are the worst for it. Like there's the one, like even Deep Blue Sea, man, and I can't believe I'm going to go after my own fucking movie here, but Deep Blue Sea does it with that opening segment with the boat, where the shark hits the boat and then all of a sudden he comes in and saves the day and saves those teens on the boat. But it's like that kind of thing just annoys me. And it's like, right, now the bullshit's out the way. Can we get to the point of what we're actually doing here?
Yeah, I understand the need sometimes for a cold open. Sometimes a cold open works really well. The best time a cold open works well is if you do a cold open where you see someone massacred and then it comes up 6 months earlier. Those cold opens I like because then I get to see how we got to where we were. And normally we get back to there and then they
Yeah.
round it off with an extra bit. But
Oh,
this,
yeah. So that's the perfect, right? Because the one that I was going to say, which is my favorite, is the opposite to doing 6 months later or 6 months earlier. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. You get the found footage at the
yeah,
beginning. That's the cold open for that movie where you've got him walking around in the basement and then he gets whacked by Leatherface, or at least you think he does, because you don't actually see anything in the cold open. But at the end of the movie, it comes back to the cold open, and that's when you see Leatherface still alive and take him out in the basement. Fucking awesome! Like that's how you do it. But where it's here, and it's like, oh, just so you know, there's so much fucking dodgy in this woods. It's like, I know. That's why I'm watching this movie. Like, I don't need to see that for you to set it up. Like, I already know what's going to happen. But
yeah,
I
but
don't know.
it's not even like there's something in the woods that's creepy. It's like there's something in the woods that's creepy. Now I'm going to spend the next 3 minutes explaining to you what that is in image form. Hillbilly, 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 hillbilly. It was a hillbilly. I don't know if you got this. It was a hillbilly. And
Exactly, man. It's just fucking stupid, isn't it? It's just like I say, it was a trend. I haven't seen a movie do it recently, to be honest with you, that I can think of off the top of my head. Thankfully, it is one and done sort of era in time where it's faded away. But yeah, man, it was just so fucking every movie you used to start in the early 2000s would have this cold open and this really long drawn out credit sequence. And again, this movie just does the exact same thing. And I'm moaning about it, but I'm not moaning about it because of this film, because I didn't mind it here. It wasn't too insulting. But as a whole and as a trope, it is something that bothers me generally.
yeah, it's not a great trope. And one thing I do like in it, I like the main character. The guy Quinn, we're going to
Yeah,
call him Quinn because that's how I know him. He's really, really good and he's pretty switched on and he's pretty intelligent.
he's a
But
doctor.
he makes some stupid fucking decisions. First of all, he's late for a meeting. He gets stuck in traffic. He rings his boss or rings the employers and goes, look, there's been an accident. I'm stuck in traffic. I'm going to be about half an hour late.
Yeah.
He knows he's going to be half an hour late. And then he tries to be clever and turns around and is like, goes back to a gas station where he's got the guy just drinking a bottle of Pepto Bismol. And I'm like, ugh.
What is Pepto Bismol?
It's like a stomach, it's like Rennie.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's like a bottle of that, but it contains alcohol.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Is it cheaper than buying alcohol?
I don't think
Should I switch?
I don't think I could cope with sat here sipping Pepto Bismol. I'll get some paint thinner. We'll
I'm
really
just
go
drinking,
for it.
drinking a bottle of mouthwash.
But he goes there and then he looks on the map. He's like, oh, Mountain Pass Road. That's a quick way. And then he just fucking trundles off down this path. And I'm on board with that. Like, I could take a shortcut. Personally, I'd probably just sit in the traffic. But if I did, it's a reasonable decision to make.
It's a perfect. I hate traffic. I'll go the long way around to avoid traffic. I would rather be constantly driving and moving than sat inching forward, clutch brake for like 40 minutes. I would rather had an extra hour onto my journey knowing that I'm not going to get stuck in traffic.
Yeah, but he adds an extra 3 days onto his journey because he gets distracted by a deer. And then, honestly, it's the worst crash. He looks at the deer, and yeah, fine, you saw the deer. And then he looks in the mirror and straightens his hair, and that's when he crashes into the Range Rover that's parked smack bang in the middle of the road. It's a Range Rover. It's massive. How did you not see it?
Yeah. I mean, I get it, because I've crashed like this.
Doing your hair, you fucking liar.
No, hey, dude, I did have hair back in the day. I'll have you know. No, but I crashed exactly like this. What I was doing was I was driving down the road. There was this car in front of me, and I'd only been on the road maybe a year and a half, and I was fucking about with the CD player, and I was like looking down and then looking up. Do you know as you do? And it's
Yeah.
amazing because these days, I probably shouldn't say this, but I drive on my phone all the fucking time. But I was like distracted by the CD player swapping CDs. For those of you who are very young and are not aware, a CD is what we used to listen to music on back in the day. And this car, it wasn't even it was my fault, but it wasn't my fault.
Of course, it was your fault.
Yeah, right. Okay, it was my fault, but it was also the guy in front of me's fault as well. He was in front of me, and he saw like one of his like friends or somebody he knew at the side of the road, and he immediately just like pulled in, no indication or anything, just like pulled into the side of the road as if to wind his window down and talk to this person. But because I was like half distracted by swapping my Jay-Z and Linkin Park CD for something else, I just didn't notice him stop, and I just straight into the back end of him, smashed my dad's car up as well. It was really bad, really, really bad. Not to like add drama to the situation, but my dad had died like a month before, and I inherited his car. And I was driving around in this Renault Laguna. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Renault Lagunas, but that was my dad's car, and I took it off him. And then I had to go home like 4 weeks after he died and explain to my mum that I just writ his car off.
You and me have never spoken about our car history. Do you know who else in this podcast used to own a Renault Laguna?
Oh, legend! Did you really?
I did. It was navy blue, and it was
mine was green.
Fucking awful car.
Yeah. I remember all my mates was like, "Why are you driving an old man car?" I'm like, "Well, I didn't pay for it. It was free, and it's better than my Renault Clio." So
yeah, I ended up with that because I had some money. I didn't have a lot, but I had some money, and there was a car garage near us, and that was the only car that I could afford. So I bought it. And then on the way back from the garage, I went over a speed bump way too fast and took the exhaust off, and then spent the next 3 months repairing it with friends because I couldn't afford to take it to the garage.
To get fixed. I mean, they were good cars, man. They were fast as well. Like it was more horsepower than I should be able to handle at 18 years old. Put it that way.
Yeah, I had a scaffold tube as my exhaust for a little while.
Oh, mate, I bet your neighbours loved you.
You start up like,
yeah, I'm not a big car guy at all. I've never really been interested or invested in buying. Like, you see a lot of people, I have mates who are like real egotistical about cars, and they get them out on finance. And like some of the finance agreements they get, it costs them like more than their fucking mortgage to walk around like they're really rich. I'm like, dude, we all know you've got that on tick. Like you work in Morrison's. You don't have the right to go out and buy a fucking BMW M series. Like, why are you skinting yourself for your ego?
Yeah, like I'm not a big car guy, and like I've owned some cool cars in my time. Again, maybe we'll talk about it on Patreon. Anyway, back to this.
Yeah, so I keep forgetting. I'm just sidetracking the shit out of tonight's episode, and we're doubling, and this is the first of two, so stay tuned.
Yeah, it's fine. The people that Quinn meets are the dumbest motherfuckers on the face of the planet. Not one of them has a brain cell between them. And they annoy me so much.
Oh, is it Steve? I like Steve.
Is Steve the dopey one who's like, oh
yeah,
I don't like James Brown impersonators at like my wedding, man. Like, what the fuck? Who are you? Go away.
I liked him. I liked him because he was like the most organic character from the group. Like, I know people like him. Like, he's just there. He's not insulting. He's like one of those people who is the least offensive people you could ever meet in your life.
Do you know what
immediately shows affection for Detective Quinn after his car accident, even though he's just ripped the car off and smashed all the bikes up. He was immediately like, dude, are you all right? Like, are you okay? Whereas everyone else is bitching at him like spoiled little California brats. He's like, hey, man, are you okay? Just take a minute, sit down. That was a pretty heavy fucking blow.
Yeah, you like that guy because his name's Scott in the movie. That's the character's name.
Oh, is he called Scott? Yes, he is called Scott. I don't know. The names are not worth remembering. I think was Eliza Dushku, she Jessie?
She's hot. I don't know what her name was.
She's not Bring It On hot. Bring It On Eliza Dushku is the peak.
Yeah, I'm going to pre-warn everyone. This episode is going to be quite lustful because the women in this movie are fucking good. The girl who's really annoying, the one who bounces around, who's like, and we're going to do this and then that and then this. She's annoying as fuck, but oh my god,
I can see your nipples.
We were talking about this briefly off air before we came on, and yeah, they're there. They're certainly there for the world to see. I'm not an anatomy guy, and I feel like to maintain that there must have to be some sort of nipple flicking before the camera started rolling.
In Hollywood, historically, there was a person who that was their job, and it is the best job in the world. Like, what do you do for a living? I tweak movie stars' nipples. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Like,
I want to be your friend. Like, you must have the best stories ever.
I would like that job, not for any sexual gratification, but just so I could go to the pub on a Friday afternoon with the lads and be like, it's been a tough week at work, boys. I'll be honest with you.
37 pairs of breasts this week. And one of them was Sydney Sweeney. God, they were real handfuls. They were right pain in the ass to deal with.
Dude, honestly, let's just try and make it to the end of October before we get cancelled, please.
Yeah, like honestly, I've never seen a movie where, like, she hasn't got the biggest. I said it's going to be a pervy episode. I'm sorry. She hasn't got the biggest breasts in the world, but her nipples are bigger than her breasts. Her nipples literally hold her t-shirt like two little perfect tents where her boobs should be.
You've put a lot more thought into this than I have. I'm going to be honest with you.
I watched this with Lisa, and I went, "Oh my god!" And Lisa went, "Oh my god!" I went, "They're really pointy." She went, "They're ridiculous. They're not even real. They must be fake nipples." Because they're like,
is that a thing?
I have no idea, but they're a good inch and a half long, and I don't know if that's normal.
Probably not. I'm curious to know if fake nipples are a thing, though. Like, that's really piqued my interest now. What would that be? Like a stick-on?
Yeah.
It would make a lot of sense as well. Because we spoke... Rachel from Friends is always the one that always comes back to me whenever we have a conversation similar to this. Like, she spent 10 seasons, 24 episodes a season with a constant nip erection. And I'm like, how do you maintain something like that? They must be stick-on.
Either that or it was a guy called Gary who in between each take come on and went, that one a little flick, that one a little bit of ice on that one. You're good, right? Okay, you can roll camera now.
And again, does it make a difference if you're male or female? Because, like, for me, sometimes they're in, sometimes they're out. It depends on the weather, I'll be honest with you.
Mine are always erect. I'm always excited.
Of course they are. Of course, yours are permanently damaged from being pierced.
No, I've never pierced my nipples.
Oh, I thought you was a nip piercing guy as well.
No. I had my Prince Albert done, but my nipples have remained intact.
Prince Albert? What is a Prince Albert?
My knob.
No one calls it that. Surely to God.
Well, that's the official name for it. When you go to have it pierced, you ask for a Prince Albert.
Oh, right. So it is actually
It's got a name.
And move on, please. Can we move on? I can't do this again.
we can move on. We'll move on. Where were we? They move on quite quickly from here. So they have the crash, and then they're like, a group of them decide they're going to go and find help, and they leave behind the stoner dude and another girl who get really, really horny and get very, very dead very, very quickly. So the guy guy wanders off into the woods. Yeah, fine. That's not that much of a kill. The kill with the barbed wire, the razor wire, like garroting, not round the neck, which you'd expect, but like through the mouth is awful. Yeah. Like, that's horrid.
Horrendous. And that's the thing about this movie as well, is not only is it very fast paced, like often with movies like this, you'll spend a good 20 minutes of all of the cast members trying to figure out who these people are. They'll get taunted. They'll get a few little bits. Not here. It's just straight in. It's straight in for the kill. Cast members start getting wept out immediately to the point where you're like, fuck, we've only got 40 minutes left and there's not a lot of you left. How are you going to flesh this out for the rest of the runtime?
Well, they flesh it out by the other group find a cabin. They're like, oh, we're saved.
Yes.
And then go in and quickly realise that they've walked into Leatherface's summer house in the mountains and gone, oh, fuck, we need to leave. And this is when the Hillbillies car, like, they turn up in the truck. It's so good when they pull up and they're like, one's hanging off the back, like waving his arm, like, woo! Woo! Yeah, boy, we got ourselves a car. Like
Fresh meat.
These guys are fucking brilliant. Like I
Yeah.
love the scene when they pull up and people go hide. So you get Quinn and the I can't think of her name. What's her name?
Jesse.
Yeah, they hide under the bed, and the other two hide in a cupboard, and they drag in the corpse of their friend who's been garroted
Horrendous.
drop her on the floor, and they're under the bed, and you see like the blood's pooling down, and Quinn's like slowly trying to move his arm away so he doesn't get blood in his hand. I'm like, oh, that's rough. That's really, really rough.
And the fact that they managed to stay there as well until these guys fall asleep is just so fucking clever. Like in any instance, you kind of, I don't know, like it's not very often in a horror movie where you get to this point where like, let's just rest and wait here until they fall asleep and then we'll sneak out.
Yeah.
You know? Because that must have been a long period to have to have stayed in the situation they had have done. Watching their friend getting butchered and mutilated and chopped up for meat the entire time. It was actually quite horrendous, really. This is a really bad scene in terms of all the kills and stuff in this movie. This is one of the most uncomfortable in the entirety of it.
Yeah, it's a really uncomfortable scene. And the one thing I'll say is like they're meant to be chopping this body up and they're doing it for ages, and then we get a pan up shot, and in all the time they've been hacking away and we've heard thud, thud, thud. They've only chopped one leg off.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they've been doing, but it's taken a lot of work to get that one leg off.
Maybe they haven't got sharp tools. Maybe they're just taking their time.
They're
enjoying the moment.
They're definitely not sharp tools. From here on out, Quinn became you because Quinn developed the biggest fucking hero complex in the world. And I laughed my fucking ass off multiple times, not because of what he done, because as soon as he done it, I went, Marc could do that. When they opened the door to get out and it's on that spring.
I saw it before he even grabbed it. Before he even grabbed it, I was like, dude, get it. And he got it, and I was like, my man.
Yeah, and the springs pinching back. If anyone's caught their hand in a spring, it is the most god-awful thing to happen. And the fact that he done it and manned it out without screaming or crying and got his hand off. And then after he done that, I'm like, Joe, what? Well done. I'll give you props.
That made you think of me, did it, mate?
It did, and then he kicked the door and made a noise, which
because the guy was awake.
Yeah, but the
guy was awake and caught him. That's why. It was his next fucking hero moment that pissed me off. It's like they get away in that scene and they're hiding in the sort of like the scrapyard. This is where they realize that they've had multiple victims, and everybody who comes down this road, they just pick them off. And as well, like this is a really dark scene if you pay attention, because there's like bloody dolls and children's clothes and stuff like that. That kind of shows there's no limits to what these guys are willing to do. It's really dark, that scene, if you pay attention to it. However, they're hiding behind the cars. Joey Quinn goes, I'm gonna have to stop calling him Joey Quinn. I think his name's Desmond, the actor. He says, we need to go with an old military tactic. And he basically just jumps up from behind the car and goes, yoo-hoo!
Follow me!
I'm like, what? Do they teach you that in the army?
It was the most Jurassic Park moment ever. He jumped out and like almost waved a flare going, I'm over here.
Exactly. And it made me laugh. And he got shot for it immediately. But then my man, what was his name that I liked?
Dopey Scott.
Dopey Scott immediately was like, oh shit, he's been shot, they're going to get him. He does the same thing. Heroes himself. And I was gutted because he does such a good job of causing a distraction that the others manage to get away. They steal the truck of the cannibals. And you think they're about to pick Scott up as they're driving down the windy road and he's running to the forest towards them. And his kill scene, man, it was like flashbacks from Boromir from Lord of the Rings.
I was really just about to say, even the moment when you get his little finger or three finger, whatever he's called, when he gets the bow out and pulls the bow out, I was like, fuck me, it's an Urukai. And then when he shoots him about 10 times, like he got Boromir. He got
Boromir, man. And the thing is as well, it's like that. This is one thing about horror movie kills that I always think is the most impactful, is when somebody gets severe damage, like he does, he gets the arrow through the back. He
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
scream
6.
out. He doesn't like. It's that instant shock. Like a lot of people say, like if you ever get stabbed, you don't know you've been stabbed. You just feel like you've been punched.
Yeah.
And it's one of those moments where it like kind of stops him in his tracks. Because even the people in the car are like, "Come on, run, Scott, run." They don't know what's going on, and it's because he's so in a state of shock as it happens, and it's like, "Oh no!" And then he takes like a step forward, and then he gets another one, and you're like, "Yeah, full Boromir." It was awful. I didn't like seeing him die.
All you needed was Frodo going, "No!"
But instead, you do, but you just get Nips doing it instead.
Yeah, from this point on, she got really annoyed, and I'm glad she got it soon. Like like I get it, it's her fiance. She was very, very upset. But there are times to be really, really upset, and there are times to get your shit together. When you're being chased by murderous hillbillies, that is one moment in your life where whatever else is going on, you need to push that shit down and become very equipped very quickly to get out of that situation.
Yeah, like there's moments where like they hit a dead end road and she just starts maniacally laughing. I'm like, what? Like, what? I get you're scared, but like I've never been so scared in my entire life that I've just thought it was hilarious.
No, and the radio tower. Oh my
I
god,
love this.
they find this big fucking radio tower and they climb up and they find a radio and they find some glow sticks and they're like, "Oh, this is great. We're gonna get help." And then the hillbillies come and they're carrying flaming torches, so they cover the glow lights and they stay really still. And then as they do that, while I was watching it, I'm going, "Turn the radio off, turn the radio off." And then it's like, breaker, this is the police. Where are you?" And all the hillbillies go, "Oh, they're in the tower."
Yeah.
And like the hillbilly stealing the radio is truly terrifying.
Yeah.
She's holding the radio, and then all of a sudden must yank the cable from below, and it just fucking disappears out the hole in the wall. They're like, "Shit."
Yeah. I think this is the thing about this movie that I find really impressive as well, is like the pacing's really impactful, but things slow down massively here, but they slow down with purpose because this is one of the most heightened action sequences in the film, and it goes on for quite a while as they leave the radio tower and they jump into the trees. I think we must spend the vast majority of the movie in this particular night segment.
The crouching tiger, hidden dragon tree scene.
I love it. I love it. And I think the thing is as well, it's like Nips gets really fucking angsty and she's like, "I'd rather die," as she's about to jump out of the window. "I'd rather fall to my death than be taken by them for whatever they might do." And that's it. Joey Quinn's like, "No, you're right. You are right.
Yeah.
The trees are not too far." And I was like, they're not. You could make that. You could make that if you just jump and Patrick Starfish out of the window. You could land, and I think you'd be able to catch yourself. And they all do a fantastic job. They all do it. And then Elijah Duska just hits a branch, man. And I'm like, I don't care who you are. That is, and there is no way you are hanging on after that impact, because she hit it and did like a 360 spin around the branch and then managed to cling on like she was Blade. I was like, no, not a chance.
She really, and I'm going to burn it. I've just scrolled down. I'm going to burn a fact earlier. The stunt lady who done that for her dislocated a shoulder performing her fall through the trees. As she hits the branch, you can actually hear the pop of her shoulder, and they kept it in the sound mix in post-production.
It looked rough as fuck, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, it looked horrendous. I was like, no way you're okay after doing that. Well, no, clearly she's not, because she dislocated her shoulder doing it.
Dislocated her shoulder. And when I found that fact, I went back and listened, and you can actually hear the moment where it just goes, pop.
And like, it's the bit back and check that.
Like, you know, as she hits it and she sort of like spins around it, it's as she grabs with her arm to make sure she doesn't fall off. It's as she pulls around it, just like pop.
Is that what it is? Yeah, because it's a grab as she's on her way around.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's just not possible. I mean, clearly that stunt woman did achieve it, but she dislocated her arm in the process. But yeah, it looked horrific.
It was a bad day at the office for her. The bits in the tree are ridiculous but amazing.
My favorite kill in the movie as well.
It's one of the best kills in a slasher.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Nips hiding behind the tree and gets an axe to the head. And then as it pans back, her head is from the top half of her mouth up is perched perfectly on the axe, and her body just tumbles down through the trees.
So
Fucking
good.
awesome. That was all the tumbling through the trees. Everything apart from her head was CGI as well, and I thought it looked really good for 2000.
Really, really impressive. To me, to be honest with you, it looked as if they'd just like chucked a dummy out of a tree. I would never have called CGI on that.
All of it was CGI apart from her head. So they made a fake tree, and she poked her head through, and like they had the bottom of her mouth covered, and then everything else around her was green screen, and then literally everything, the trees, the body, the background, everything is CGI, and it's so good for 2003.
Yeah, really. I mean, again, like this is the thing with using CGI. It's a very dark scene. It's a very dark nighttime scene situation. So a lot of it is hidden by the darkness of the scene itself. But still, it looked fucking awesome, man. It looked really, really good. And to this day, like if you'd have said to me, "Oh yeah, they just threw a mannequin out of a tree," I'd have been like, "Yeah, I know. I can clearly see that. That's what they've done." Like I'm blown away by the fact that you've told me that that was entirely done with CGI.
Yeah, every single bit. And I was blown away as well. As I was finding production facts and stuff, I do a lot of YouTube, I do a lot of searching sites and all sorts. And like, I stumbled across a behind the scenes, watched like 2 minutes, and like, that wasn't CGI. Was that CGI? You know, when you're like clicking through a video to go through it quicker, I like rewound and watched like a 5-minute vignette about how they put that together and how much work it took. And I was like, that's cool. Really cool.
Really, really cool.
The bow and arrow fucking banana tree scene is the most ridiculous fucking weapon I've ever seen in my life.
Looney Tunes as fuck, isn't it?
And the fact that Littlefinger goes he literally gets ejected from the tree at about 1,000,000 miles an hour, hits every branch on the way down, hits the floor, and gets up and like dusts himself off. So that hurt a little bit, but
he don't though, does he?
Yeah, he gets straight back up. He's down.
I thought it was just like down. I thought it was down, and then they would all come around him and were like, because I thought he was dead. I mean, the first time I watched this movie, obviously I know not, but the first time I watched it, I thought he was dead in that scene. I'll be honest with you, because I don't remember him getting up.
The two little mates, his two hillbilly buddies, come in and sort of look over him, and as they're looking over him, he like sits up and he's like it's almost like a Looney Tune, like shake his head, like. Blah. And then he gets up, and they're like, "Right, let's carry on."
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they wiped him out in that, because that's why I thought it was a bit. Because I know he's fucked. Like he's messed up. Because like even in the closing scene, he comes out and he's all like mangled from the scene, from the tree scene and the fall, because he's in the other room like on bed rest.
Yeah. It's really stupid, but it does make me laugh. I think it takes a darker turn here when they kidnap the girl and they take her alive.
I want to talk about the scene before that, before we go on to there, because this is the one scene that annoys me, and it's very tropey. Is where they fall asleep under the waterfall, and you got the standardized jump scare. I'm like, oh, you didn't need that here. You were doing so fucking well.
I was going to gloss over it because I didn't feel that I wanted to bring this movie down at all. Because
I don't want to bring the movie down. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to affect my overall score. But when I watched it again recently for the episode, I was like, I don't like that. That's very cheap. And I always call other movies out for doing a similar sort of thing. So it would be very biased of me not to do it here. And I just don't like it. I didn't like it here. It felt unnecessary. And I felt like it slowed the momentum of the pace that we were on with the movie.
I didn't like their whole escape from here, like try to get back to the road, let's hide behind a waterfall. Like this whole 3-minute segment when they get out of the trees and they go on like almost like a hike home. Like this whole bit, you could have cut this whole bit and I wouldn't have given two shits.
No, it didn't need to be there. I liked the emotional connection between the two of them and the development of their character as they sort of confide in each other within that moment. And she basically explains that she just split up from her partner, and immediately all her friends rallied around her, and that's why they were out on the road. You know, within 24 hours they were on the trip because she'd just been dumped. So she was feeling that guilt of all her friends dying and it all being her fault for that reason. It was good, and it had a lot of depth to either character. You know, Joey, Quinn, and Jesse. I really liked it for that reason. But it's when you have that nightmare jump scare, I was just like, you didn't need to do that. You could have just woke them up the next day, had the attack from the Hillbillies, and we'd have moved on.
Yeah.
It just felt cheap and lazy, and this movie was doing such a good job up until that point of not being cheap and lazy. It was as generic as a slasher as it is in terms of its pacing and its consistency and all the rest of it. I was like, you're doing such a good job of escaping these sort of like flaws, and then it did it there, and I was like, the annoying thing is that particular scene didn't need to be there.
No, and it's the only time they do it. So, like, from here, the girl gets taken, and Joey Quinn goes to get the police. Like, the police are pulling up onto the mountain. He comes out flailing his arms. He's like, oh, there's people dead. There's people dead. This bit made me fucking die. The police was like who? And as soon as he said like who, he gets an arrow through the eye. And I watching it out loud, I went, like you. Just like you. You are dead.
Yeah. And now I know where they got the scene from in Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah. Also, Joey Quinn is a superhuman. Like
I was coming into this episode expecting you to turn around to me and say, I could do that. And I was going to call your bullshit on it. And I'd be like, no, you couldn't.
Like, I could hold myself under a truck or under a car for a period of time on a dead flat, beautifully tarmacked road. He holds himself under that truck over hills and dales and bumps, and like he must have been beaten to fuck under that truck, and he's on underneath it for a good 3 or 4 miles through the hills, and then when he gets there, he drops down, not a mark on him. It's like, whew, oh, a bit hard that. It made me laugh so much because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it was stupid. It really was stupid. But again, he's the hero, isn't he?
Again, I instantly thought of you. Like, that's the shit you do. You go, you'd be under the truck going, I reckon I can. I'll be all right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. I would be like, yeah, I can do this. And then it'd just turn up to me at the other end, just a mangled mess, like to be taken out by about 50 rocks in the road on the way up.
One thing I'm going to commend this movie for is they avoided doing the really, really obvious thing. So they've kidnapped the girl. They've got the girl tied up. There's a little bit of like inappropriate touching of her face and like pulling at her top a little bit and a bit of knife play. But at no point do they strip her bare and do what I thought they were going to do.
They don't Hills of Eyes it.
No, and I'm going to applaud them for that because it's the easy option to take to make people go, oh my God, this is awful. He needs to save her. And they didn't do it. And I genuinely appreciated the fact that they didn't just follow that fucking path and do it anyway.
Yeah. Because it's a very easy thing to fall into with these types of movies. We've spoke about the Hills of Eyes remakes many a times. I haven't seen the original Wes Craven. I don't know whether that follows a similar suit. But I really detest those scenes in those movies. Even more so the sequel. The sequel just takes it to another level with what they do in that film. It's just fucking graphically unnecessary, in my opinion. But here, they play it. They play it safe and they don't go down that route. And for me, like in those types of situations, like I don't think those kinds of people, I don't know them personally, but I think to them it's just food, you know. They're not wanting sexual gratification from them. I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. But for me, it was just like, I don't know. It didn't need to be there, and thankfully enough, it wasn't there.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I'm not going to go wandering in the hills of West Virginia to find out because I don't at any one point in my life want someone going, you got a pretty mouth, boy. I don't want that. I don't even want to put myself in a situation where those words could be uttered. So I'm never going to find. If you have been venturing in the hills of West Virginia and have had this happen and had hillbillies come after you, like let me know. Did they go full? You got a pretty mouth, boy, or were they quite pleasant? I'm sure we've got listeners in West Virginia. Is it as bumfuck nowhere, hillbilly inbred as this movie portrays it to be? Let me know.
I can't imagine for 1 second it is.
No, the Appalachian Hills, I know there are people who live out there, and yeah, I'm sure they fucking love this movie. Like I'm sure they watch, like people who live in the Appalachian Hills. I don't know what they're like. I'm like, if they do have access to TV and stuff, do they watch a movie like this and go, these motherfuckers, I'm nothing like that. I was watching Dexter 2 minutes ago, drinking a coffee. Do you know what? I'm going to go and kidnap someone and fucking do this to them now. Because if that's how you see me, that's what you're going to get.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? It's like, oh yeah, well, I watched Wrong Turn. I just got a taste for it.
Yeah, yeah. I watched it and went, do you know what? There's a lot of people who come through these hills who've got cool shit in their cars, and I can kill them and eat them and save on my groceries. And like, I was never gonna do it, but after Wrong Turn, like it seemed like a no-brainer.
You see, the thing is, for us as British people, like we're a very, very small fucking continent, little island in the middle of nowhere. But America is such a vast place with such wild. You could drive for days and not reach civilization in America.
Yeah.
And the missing persons count in that country alone is just off the fucking chart. So I imagine shit like this does happen.
Yeah, and like I know there's people who live in the woods in the New Forest. There are natives in the New Forest. That was one thing I was very wary of when we went and filmed at night. And we had instances where we met people, which is fucking weird as fuck, creepy as fuck, awful.
Yeah, not for me, that I think.
The end of this movie is kind of dumb, and I don't hate it for it. Like he busts in like superhero, and they like helps free the girl, and then they fight with the hillbillies, and the
He
hillbillies.
gets his ass kicked.
He does, and understandably so, because the hillbillies seem impossible to kill. They've got like T-1000 abilities to just be like, "No, I'm good," and get back up after everything they do to them.
Yeah, they're like super strength. I like that though. I like that it gives them that because it makes them more intimidating. It makes them more fearful in a sense. Like I'm sure they feel the pain, but it's almost as if they have an intolerance to it throughout this movie. And it doesn't address them as being regenerative or like super strength or anything like that. It's just that dumb-witted urge to keep going that they have.
They're just hard bastards.
Yeah, they are.
The gunshot at the end to the petrol tank.
Just fucking die.
He was way too close when he pulled the trigger to that. What wait? Like when he just stood there and he pointed, I was like, mate, you might want to take a step back. And then he
pulls
the
buckshot. It doesn't have the same sort of impact and range.
Yeah, but when he does hit it, him and the girl get sent like 80 foot into the air and like slam against a car. And I'm like, oh, it's probably done more damage to you than they done to you the entire duration of the movie.
Yes, this is very true. But again, movies got movies. And this is the one film that I am going to use that for.
Yeah, there's not really much else to say. Movie's got a movie. This works for me.
Is there any
post credits? There was a post credit.
There is a post credit for the Wrong Turn movie. Did you not?
I've done it. I've done it again. What was the other movie I'd done it with? One of the Dawn of the Dead, Zombie of the Dead. What one was it? Day of the Dead.
I can't remember. No, we haven't done Day of the Dead on the show yet.
It was the one with the found footage bit at the end that I completely missed and had to go and watch.
I can't remember what that was.
It's
the
one that's
got... and let us know because it's going to annoy the shit out of me.
It's the one who's got Phil from my Modern Family plays the arsehole douchey guy.
Oh yes. Actual Dawn of the Dead, the remake.
I missed the post credit on that. What's the post credit on this?
So the post credit on this is the cabin's all burnt down in ashes, and the police arrive. To basically inspect all the damage and stuff like that and shift through the rubble. It's just one deputy that turns up. He's digging through and he finds basically like the daddy of the hillbilly group, the one who takes the axe to the shoulder and has a big fight off with Quinn before Jesse arrows him in the head. He finds his face, and then like the moonlight's behind him, and like Three Fingers stands up and does his maniacal laugh with an axe in his hand, as if he's about to execute the police officer.
Okay. Yeah, no, I completely missed that. Three Finger as a character cracks me up. He's like the other two they're almost Jason Voorhees like characters. It's like Jason and Michael just stomping through the woods, taking people out. Three Finger, Little Finger, whatever he's called. He is hilarious. Like the bit where Scott runs off into the woods he gets so excited. He's like, oh, and goes running after him because it's like this for him is the best thing in the world. It's like, he's running. I get to chase him.
Yeah.
And he's like that all the way through. Like even in the trees, like when he kills the girl with the axe, he's like, oh. He's such a good character.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to touch on this before we?
No, there's not a lot of meat on the bones with this movie. There isn't anything else I really want to dive into that we haven't already touched upon throughout this review. So I think, yeah, now's a good time to call it a day.
Okay, well, let's do your recommended account of the week.
Do you like to see my wares, weary traveler?
Yes, I would. But Mark is not ready, so I will give you another soundbite while I wait.
Fucking Hillbilly.
So this week's recommended account of the week is Sparkwood_video. Recently, I've been not necessarily focusing too much on horror accounts and just accounts that I find interesting on the world of Instagram. So I thought, with it being the month of October, I'd try and rein things back in a little bit with some content creators that are really putting the effort in within the horror genre. And Joanne, Sparkwood_video, is one of those accounts that I really, really like. She shares a lot of horror movie stuff, a lot of collectibles throughout horror movies, and yeah, just one of those ones that you see regularly and has some really insightful opinions about certain things, has some great collections, and basically just showcases the stuff that she has. Very similar to what I do with my VHS account, but more varied in terms of not just strictly VHS, just stuff that she has and within her collection, and thoughts and opinions that she has on movies that she's watching at the time. So it's a really cool account, and I'm sure you will all enjoy the insights that she has to horror. So go and check her out. That is Sparkwood_video on Instagram.
This month, I'm going to be introducing you to our two newest members of the You Run Podcast Network. We have the Deadbeats podcast hosted by Will and JT, a horror movie review podcast that is kind of unlike anything else you will see on the network, and you need to go and watch it to fully understand why. This show does deep dives into horror movies, does interviews with celebrities. This is a really cool horror podcast that doesn't quite fit the mould of your regular podcast, so you need to go and check them out. The other show that you absolutely have to go and listen to is the What the Fuck Are You Doing podcast. This show, hosted by Hern Dizzle and E-Bitty, covers, well, everything. Music, games, TV, random thoughts that pop in their head, creative pursuits, you name it, they cover it. If it comes into their head, they say it. It's a wildly entertaining and hilariously funny show. So go and check out both of those shows and all the other shows of the You Run Podcast Network, and all you need to do is go to yourunpodcast.com. Anyway, I'm going to say back to the show now. Back to the show.
Thanks, Scott. By the way, Hern Dizzle.
Yeah, Hern Dizzle and E-Bitty.
Can I add a Dizzle to the end of my name? Can I be Marc Dizzle? For Shizzle, Marc Dizzle.
You could be Marc Dizzle if you like, and I'll be Scott
I
Bitty.
can pull Marc Dizzle off, to be honest with you.
I can pull off Scott Itty Bitty.
That is not a dig on those guys in any way, shape,
no,
or form. I just wish I was cool enough to pull off Dizzle.
Yeah, you definitely can. They definitely can. Their show is awesome, so go and check them out. They're available on You Run Podcast Network. Also, if you're watching on a laptop or on a desktop, in the top left-hand corner of the screen, you will find a QR code that will take you to our website, yourunpodcast.com, where you'll find links to all of the members of the You Run Podcast Network. Also, make sure you check out Mark's recommended account of the week. It's really important that you do that because it helps you find a cool account to follow. They then, in turn, go, oh, that's great. Who sent you? Oh, You Run Podcast sent you here. Who are they? And they come and see us. Do you see how it works? It's really, really simple. While you're on Instagram, go and follow Mark. He is at Reviews from the Crypt, where he reviews other movies with people who have only one tooth, or VHS from the Crypt, where he shows you that hoarding is not just a mental illness, but can be turned into a really cool social media account as well. There are links to all of our social media on yourunpodcast.com. We're at You Run Podcast everywhere, so you'll be able to find us really easy. If you want to support the show, you can. It's patreon.com/You Run Podcast. On there, you get access to early release episodes of everything we do, not just here, true crime, everything we do on YouTube. You also get additional shows of the You Run podcast, horror movie review, which is You Run Extra. You also get True Crime Extra. That's 2 additional shows every single month for you to enjoy. Loads of other cool perks, loads of other things you can control us with. So yeah, go and check out patreon.com/You Run podcast. If you don't want to do that because you're tight, because you don't even want to do the free option, there's a free option where you still get stuff and we still give you stuff because we're that kind and we're that loving, and you still don't want to do it, you don't do it. Share the show with a friend instead. Review the show on Apple or Spotify. Like or comment on one of our posts, or send us an audio DM on X or Instagram, and we will play your voice on the air. In fact, send me an audio DM as to why you're too tight to go and subscribe at the free tier. Explain that to me. Do that. There's simple things that can help us reach an audience. Should we do some facts?
Yes, before you kill off all of our listeners.
Fuck the listeners. Let's do some facts.
You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This production was riddled with some issues. One of the issues was several of the cast and crew were covered with poison ivy throughout filming the movie. So what happened is when they were filming certain scenes, they put chairs down for everyone to sit on. And everyone were like, oh, there's loads of weeds growing around here. They weren't weeds, they were poison ivy, which left most of the cast and crew itching for days.
What, right? Poison ivy is a thing. What actually is it? Basically nettles? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's a glorified American stinging nettle is what it is.
Right. So yeah, Americans being Americans, it's a nettle, and they're just like, oh, poison ivy, man.
Yeah, but it sounds cooler. Like if I said to you, oh man, I've been stung by a stinging nettle, you go, shut up, you pussy. If I went, oh man, I've been stung by poison ivy, you'd be like, fuck, are you okay? Like,
yeah, but now I've made the connection between the two. Every time I see it in a movie, it's like next time I'm watching Batman and fucking poison ivy comes out, I'm like, oh, it's a stinging nettle lady.
It's very true. The director of this is Rob Schmidt, and he has said multiple times that this to him was his own personal Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He wanted to make something that was inspired by Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes, but was uniquely his own. And I think he nailed that.
I think so. I think he semi-achieved it. I don't think it's going to be as groundbreaking as either movie, but again, for me, with all the fucking plethora of horror movies I've digested over the years, I still hold this movie in very high regard.
Yeah, I do as well. This is the only film in the series not to contain any sex or nudity. And I'm going to say it now. The one thing this movie was missing is a pair of boobs.
Yeah, the thing is as well, though, like, I don't think it needed it. It didn't bother me. Like, I'm one of those people who grew up drawn to horror for the nudity. I was a teenage boy. That's why I got into horror, because it was guaranteed. But again, with this movie, like, this is like, if somebody asked me what was a perfect introduction to horror was, I would probably recommend The Wrong Turn to be one of them. That would be on my top 10 lists of, here, man, try these out. If you like these, you're probably going to find yourself being on the right path. I don't think nudity was required here. Do you know what I mean? I really don't. I really don't. I think there was enough substance within the story, enough engagement, and a lot of the times, we'll talk about it definitely next week, nudity becomes more of a ticket sales. It's a ticket sale item. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, I think the thing is, when I watch a movie like this, which is a basic dumb bitch slasher, I expect there to be a pair of tits. I don't need it, and I'm not like going, oh man, I really wish there was. But if there was, I'd have been like, brilliant, perfect, fits everything.
And I think that's the thing about this movie in particular. It is very much marketed and advertised as a dumb bitch slasher. Yeah. But when you get down to the bare bones of it, it's so much more than that. Not wildly so much more than that, because it still follows the generic beats that most of them do. But this one just feels a lot more amplified and a lot more deserving of recognition than most of them do, that fall to the wayside, which follow a very similar path to this one.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You know the scene at the end where they set Littlefinger on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So Eliza Dushku had the job of setting Julian Richings on fire. It was actually him that done the fire stunt. She was meant to set him on fire a little bit and he get put out. She actually set him like full ass on fire because she put the fire in the wrong place and it took his clothes and his fucking wig and his prosthetics and everything. And like there was a big like panic as they put him out because she literally set his ass full on fire and went, oh shit, he's on fire.
Yeah, he's all mangled in the post-credit scenes, like all scarred up like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, again, I haven't seen him, so I can't comment. I need to stick around I literally finish movies and go, done.
The funny thing about it was when because I knew about it anyway, because it's one of them that I've had on VHS, and as it's not like Netflix, credits start and you get Netflix advertisements for whatever. When you watch a movie on VHS and the movie's finished and you're distracted by something else, the credits are just rolling in the background. And then eventually you'll just get to a point where something else happens and you'll look up and like, oh shit. Hence the discovery of the post-credit scene in Wrong Turn. And I watched it today because I was fucking about in here and modifying sofas and shit. And I was like, shall I text him? Shall I text him and let him know to go on YouTube and check it out? I was like, nah, I'm going to test him. I'm going to test him and see if he's around to see it or not.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Now, there is a makeup artist who worked on this, who didn't work on this as a makeup artist, but as a producer. And that is Stan Winston.
No way.
Stan Winston of Terminator, Jurassic Park,
Alien.
Predator, Alien, pretty much any decent fucking prosthetic horror movie. He had a very key vision for the Mountain Men, and it was one of his apprentices who done all of the practical work. And his remit was, I want mountain men that are believable. So they actually went and researched like real deformities of inbreeding, and that's how they designed these characters. But it was all overseen by Stan Winston, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, they are very believable in that aspect. And there's the one that brings to mind to me is where there's that guy who went to live with them on social media recently, and he like filmed that particular family.
Yeah.
They look very similar to what they are in that family.
Yeah, a bit of friendly advice, like don't fuck your sister, don't fuck your auntie or your nan, because like this is what happens. It's bad for you. It's bad. It's bad.
I mean, it's not bad for you. It's not particularly bad for you, but for the generations that come after.
Yeah, it's bad for your offspring. In the opening credits, there is a car radio preacher on the air. So after they slam us in the face with all the pictures of the deformed people and the hillbillies, just to hammer it home, one of the first lines in the movie is a preacher on the Quinn's radio. It says, if you plant your seed into your own kin, you anger God. Like that is one of the first lines of this movie. And I didn't spot it till I found the fact. And then when I went back and listened to it, it's very much like angry preacher on the radio. Like, do not fuck your cousin. It's that.
Yeah, no, I didn't pick up on that either.
We have no voicemails this week, purely because we don't. Like, we're not doubling this with another episode. Well, we are. We're doubling it with next week's episode. So, spoiler, there's no voicemails on that either. But there's no voicemails on this one just because we just haven't had any, which is fine. So I dug out some comments and thought I'd share those instead. Lady Crisis, this was on the weapons episode. I really enjoyed this movie. I hope we can still be friends. Yeah, we can. I hated it, but hey,
I liked it.
You like what you like. Like you could be friends with Marc. Like we can be acquaintances who talk.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm the one who's probably going to be the better friend anyway. I have better taste in horror than Scott does, so you're probably better off on my side of the pitch than anybody else's.
You're teeing this up in case we have another Versus episode ever. Just roping everyone on your side.
I'm recruiting is what I'm doing.
It's like a fucking election campaign. I will be the better man for horror movies.
I will be the podcast host that you deserve.
Ad full per. This was on the back of the Blair Witch. Brilliant episode for a brilliant film. Can remember watching it in the cinema and being blown away. This is after House of Wax. This is Chaz, and he went, maybe Scott should have a Scott sex talk for a bi-weekly segment where he gives sex advice.
I'm not taking advice from you. That is a fact.
Nobody wants sex advice from me. Like,
No.
No, you really don't. Leprechaun 82, 81, who is also known as Imitation Dave.
The legend.
This was on the Saw, and this was on YouTube. And he put, you guys are pretty much the final boss of horror movie trivia at this point.
What does he mean by that?
We quizzed Becky on it, and he's like, you are the final boss of horror trivia. And finally, this is one from an older episode from RoboCop that popped up on YouTube. This comes from Vlad Larinarinov. Great. It was interesting. Vlad Larinarinov. I got it. Great. It was very interesting to see your reactions to the scene from the cult movie RoboCop 1987. I especially wanted to see the reaction to RoboCop's fights against Ed 209 Robot. You guys did not disappoint. Well done.
We're professionals here. I know we mask it under silly humor, but we do know what we're talking about.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
We put out a caption this week, and I knew it was going downhill rapidly. This was the image we gave you. To be fair, that's how you looked at beers at the Love of Horror. That's what you done when you got to the bar.
Beeline. I knew what I was doing.
Brendan Ferguson went, when the lights turn off in the club and you see the specimen you've been grinding with. Chris Brown went, got any change? Do you want to hear about the Lord? Gee, you got a pretty mouth.
What? Right, you said that earlier.
What Deliverance?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need to go back and watch Deliverance. It's been a very, very long time since I've seen that movie.
Deliverance is this, but elevated to a point where you go, oh, I don't ever want to go into the mountains because that's like so potential for it to happen. And it's one of those movies when you watch as a guy, you're like, of all the things that could possibly happen to me, that is at the bottom of the fucking list of where I want to be in the world and what I want to happen. It's for me watching that's like it's fucking scary.
Is Deliverance a horror movie then?
No. It rides a line. For me watching it, it's fucking terrifying. For you watching it, terrifying. For most audiences, it's just a bit scary, but it's more thriller.
Yeah, I had it as part of like a bundle that I picked up on VHS, and I gave it away. I don't know if I gave it to Gareth, but it was like a proper vintage Warner early release, and I was like, oh, fucking stupid Burt Reynolds war movie. Not for me. That I'm collecting horror movies, but now I'm like, shit, should I have kept all of that?
You definitely should have kept it. Of all the people to lower the tone, so this was the image. Becky, this girl loves horror. Nice titties.
That's why she's my friend.
Yeah, she's my friend as well, but like lower the tone, why don't you? Mike the Movie Misfit making a great observation about all final girls in the early 2000s. So what are you using to keep your shirt so white?
The white vest, man. Again, 2000 product.
Everyone had a white vest in the 2000s. It was just a thing. That's just how it was done. Our game that is ongoing, that no one's going to win this week. It's 5 audio clips in one audio clip. Name the 5 movies. We know 3 of them. We're waiting on 2. You win a year's free subscription to Patreon now if you're not a Patreon member. If you are a Patreon member, I've already offered a naked podcast with something covering my tackle as I podcast. And I think what'll be funny is if someone chooses that, we'll do an actual episode and you can sit opposite me fully clothed and play the game of, is that mask going to fall or not? Here is the clip.
Trick or treat. What have you done?
Eat shit!
Move! Give me a break.
Now,
fucking hate this game, man. It's driving me up the wall. Will someone just fucking get it?
Right. Anyone who's paying attention, I have posted the actual movie clip for number 4 is on my Instagram, in my reels. I posted the scene that clip comes from, and still no one's got it. It's been up for a week.
It's been up for a week.
Near as damn it. It went up early this week, but by the time this comes out, it's been up a month and a bit.
Right.
So here is
let me just look at your reels, and I can.
Well, you look at the reels, and I'll play the clip again for everyone at home.
Trick or treat. What have you done?
Eat shit!
Move! Give me a break.
So all you need
Is
to
that
do,
it? Is it?
We'll talk off air. We'll talk off air because you can't give it away. So all you need to do to enter is leave us a voicemail on Instagram or X with your guesses for the 5 movies. If you get all 5 right, you win a prize. And here is the clip one more time.
Trick or treat. What have you done?
Eat shit!
Move! Give me a break.
I'm going to round this up first. This is exactly what I needed after the couple of weeks I've had, and it's put me in the perfect mood for Halloween. It's goofy. It's a hillbilly slasher. It's never going to win an award, but it doesn't have to. The stupidity of the characters is beyond belief how thick they are. We've crashed. Let's wander into the woods to see if we can find help instead of up the road we just came down from. Like, oh, we're being chased. Let's go and hide up a tower that no one, there's only one way in or out. Like, they're just fucking idiots. But the casting is good. Practical effects are really good. Like, it's a good movie. Like, I was really nervous. This franchise has been voted to replace Sharknado when we're done with Sharknado. And when it got voted, I was like, oh man. And after watching this, I'm like, do you know what? Like, if this is the high point and it's a gradual downslope from here, I'm all right with that because I really enjoyed this. I really dug this a lot.
Oh, no, it's not. I mean, to be fair, mate, it's not a gradual downpour at all from this point. Like, it's a jump off a bridge after this.
Fabulous. I had a lot of fun with this. Like, there's not a lot of pitfalls that this movie can fall into. It's very, very basic. I can give you the full synopsis of this movie now. Guy crashes car into strangers. They all wander into the woods. They all die apart from girl or guy because hillbillies attack them. The end. Yeah. And I'm happy with that. This gets I don't know. I'm wavering between a 3.5 and a 4, and I think I'm going to go a 3.5 out of 5 for this.
Yep. Very, very solid scores. I mean, for me, it's one of those, it's like, for me, it holds a lot more nostalgia because it was there for me. It was like my introduction to the horror genre, getting into movies like Wrong Turn. And again, I still feel it holds up exceptionally well today upon a rewatch. The pacing of it's absolutely flawless. The fact that the runtime's only an hour and 20 minutes and it gets from point A to point B very rapidly. You don't waste time with bloated dialogue and trying to flesh out something that it doesn't necessarily need to be. It's a hillbilly slasher movie. That's what we're here to see. And it gets to that point very, very quickly. And once it gets to that point, the pacing and consistency of going forward with a nice momentum regarding how everything's going to go, as opposed to taking breaks and we'll give a little bit more hillbilly backstory. We don't get any hillbilly backstory here because we don't need it, because no one gives a fuck. We just want to see him kill people, and we want to maybe see the people that we do like along the way survive. Yeah. And for that reason, I think it's one of the most flawless slashers out there. Yeah, it's not the best by any means, but if you strip it down to the bare bones of its design in movie making, it's pretty perfect, especially for gore hounds and just general movie goers who are very vastly into horror. Like, it's for me, this is what I am as a horror fan. I'm an in and out kind of guy. I know what I want, I know what I like, and I like to see it in quick succession. And Wrong Turn is one of the movies that perfectly sums that up for me.
It's like your sex life.
No. Hey.
You're in and out. You know what you want. You get what you need. And you're done.
I'm daddy cool in the sex life. But here it's one of those where it's like it resonates perfectly with my taste in horror. Hence why I tend to go for a lot of like B movie schlock, because it follows a similar beat. You know, it just does what it's supposed to do, and it doesn't try and be anything other. And there's a lot of movies that try to do that, but don't do it well because they go excessively with the nudity and the character introductions of stupid teenagers and stuff like that. Like, this movie's like, we know what's going to make this work. We know what to do and how to do it. All we need to do is just put it together and leave it at that. And that's exactly what I feel like this movie does. You know, it advertises itself perfectly as what it is. Again, you've moaned about the casting and the decisions along the way. Me personally agreed with a lot of the choices made. It just so happens that it didn't work out too well for him along the way. I never watched that. I'm like,
what choice did you look at and go, that was a good idea? Was it when they ventured deeper into the woods to find help?
Yeah, because it's a shortcut. You always take the shortcut.
I don't know what to say to
military tactics. Hey, I'd do that. I feel like in that moment that would be me. I would do that.
Yeah, you would hang on the bottom of the car.
Do you know what? I'd like to think I would. I'd like to think I'd give it a go. But I feel like I'd probably go for the easier option and try and get laid down in the back somewhere. But yeah, I feel like I'd make it to the end. I feel like I would make it to the end of this movie.
I would have been Scott.
Is what I'm watching. I'm like, I don't know about this, but this one I feel like I could make it to the final boss.
Yeah, like if I'd followed you all into the woods because I had a moment where I wasn't thinking, I would have ended up Boromir'd like Scott.
Yeah, you'd have been Boromir, definitely.
if I was thinking clearly, when you all went, we're going to go into the woods to look for somewhere to help us, I would have gone, well, you do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk back up the road the way we came to the main road. There's only a couple of miles and flag down some help. So you have fun. I'll see you later.
This is what I mean. It's fucking boring, man. It's boring. No one wants to make a movie about that.
It'd make a shit movie, but I would live. I'm sorry, I've derailed your.
No. The thing is, I haven't got a lot to glorify about this movie, and there's not many rants I can go on and talking about it. It's just, it is what it is. It's exactly as advertised, and I love it for that. You know, again, I can't go out of my way and be like, this is a fucking 5-star movie, because it's just mental for me to even attempt to do something like that and would diminish any credibility I had on this show. I think maybe 3.5 is a little bit low. I'm going to go with a 4. I think you were right toying between the two, but I think the nostalgia sort of tips it over the edge for me to give it to a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. And crazily, that sticks this so much further above House of 1,000 Corpses, like so much higher up the charts.
That's only because of your fucking average.
Yeah, I'm going to release the leaderboard for this year. I've deliberately not released it because at the end of the year, I'm going to release the overall leaderboard for the year and reveal the top and bottom movies. And I'm going to do it over a course of like 5 days. Over the Christmas period, it's going to be like, I don't know, 52 to 42, and I'm going to work our way down till we get to the top 10.
Just know you did Rob Zombie dirty this year.
I really did. He's way down. Well, that's it for this week. We're going to be back next week with another banger of a movie. This is a movie that has been requested literally for 3 years running, constantly by one listener, and I'll cover all of that next week. But the reason it's taken so long is because that listener didn't commit to a voicemail and just sent me messages. So it just got polled, and every time it got polled, it got trashed and it got dropped out. And every time he got upset and got annoyed and then requested it again. And we followed this cycle for 3 whole years. So Next
Well, we
week,
never got our voice note from Becky on Jay. So are you bending the rules for
no, this
network
one
members?
this one a poll.
Oh, right, okay.
It
Oh, yeah,
won-
we actually put it in a poll. I do.
We actually put it in a poll exactly the same way that next week's episode won. And next week's episode is Chopping Mall. Was it a first watch for you?
Was a first watch for me. First time I'd ever seen it.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Which
next
is
week,
wild. Which is wild because, like, it screams me without even knowing anything about it. Like, if I told people based on someone who knew me or followed my review page that I'd never seen Chopping Mall, they'd be like, "What? You of all people have not seen Chopping Mall?"
Yeah. And I knew as soon as it got picked that I knew you hadn't seen it. I was like, Mark's going to love this. And I got a message early on. We'll save it till next week. There was a message early on that I panicked for a while. But that's that's for next week. So until then, have a wonderful week. Do not go walking in Three Finger Country because you'll end up in trouble. Do not fuck your sister. Do not fuck your cousin. And have a wonderful week. Bye, guys.
Do what you like. Do what you like.
Do you want me to play it? Do not fuck your cousin.
Obviously, don't go and do that. Please.
You do whatever you like.
We can't condone anything of the sort.
No, we can't. Live.
Do not live. Right.
Live.
Bye, guys.
You want to die tonight?
Late at night, I tune into your show, where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in, as you pick apart movies for murder and sin. The dad jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts for a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. But you do not want that. You run podcasts, horror movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. Thank you for taking us on this chilling ride, when nightmares roll free and comedy collide. With your podcast we laugh and cringe, but your content is so good we can't help but binge. You run podcasts. You run podcasts.
Can see your nipples.